Amy Coney Barrett is a constitutionalist originalist, and she has been confirmed. Amy Coney Barrett has been confirmed. Amy Coney Barrett. The nine, the nine, the nine. So now we have the nine. We have the nine on the Supreme Court. We have 9 justices now on the Supreme Court. Now the question is, if there is a voting and an election controversy, will she recuse herself? Which I don't believe that's even like. Why would she recuse herself? It'd be like every judge should all the Supreme Court justices recuse themselves from all cases involving the person that appointed them. That would be the precedent. That would be retarded. That's not been done, and it shouldn't be done. It's idiotic. So hopefully she won't recuse herself. Well, not well, just for the whole rule of law thing. Hopefully she won't recuse herself. That'd be a major impediment to the American Republican system continuing to exist, and that's already tenuous as it is. But the deed is done. It is 8 days now before the election, and Amy Coney Barrett is now confirmed, and I think that I have no idea exactly what will happen for the election, but my suspicion is this thing alone is going to be more than enough to end the election for Joe Biden. From what I see in the numbers, the early voting, there are some states where the Democrats are ahead, but not nearly as many as they should be, and they're not ahead by nearly as far as they need to be. So there's a lot of people that have already voted, but there's 75+% that still have yet to vote. So still a lot of votes left to be cast. And amongst those votes, I think you're going to have a hard time now getting your Democrat activists to go get out of bed and go vote on Tuesday morning or after. I said after work for Democrats. That's funny. I'm kidding. I know Democrats work and just being funny. But anyway, they're when do they get back to work or what? There's nothing like we're not really voting for who picks the next SCOTUS because that's done. There's not going to be a SCOTUS pick for a while, probably. So I think they took the wind right out of the sails of a significant, maybe 15-20% of their hardcore activists, which maybe 5 to 10% of the total, maybe 5 to 10% or more. They just lost. They're not going to go out and vote for Trump. They're just not going to go vote because they would have gotten out to vote if they were going to stop somebody from replacing the loss of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But that's already done. So this is just another way they took the wind out of the sails. And I don't really believe that the Democrats are going to succeed in packing the courts. I think that if they win, they will try because they will do anything they can because they serve the party, the DNC, above all else. And that is one difference between the DNC and the RNC. And it's not because the RNC is more noble. I'm not picking the good guy side here in that sense. And when I say the RNC, DNC, I'm talking about the corporate billionaire the serial familial political classes, those folks that are really the RNC and the DNC. The RNC derives its legitimization, whether it's an accurate depiction of reality or not is another matter, but it derives its legitimization of government authority from the notion of the Bill of Rights as a limitation on that government. The Bill of Rights is essentially the king that the government ultimately submits to. It's a Bill of Rights kingship, if you will. And I'm not saying the RNC pays lip service to it. I'm not saying that they actually honor it. They do honor it far more than the DNC, but mostly just because of the power base. And I don't want to get into all the complexities about the theory about why the RNC is a coalition of people that rely on a concept like the Bill of Rights, while the DNC is a coalition of people that rely on a concept like moral authority. They rely on moral authority, and the moral authority that they turn to is in their whoever their accepted priest king class is. So the RNC and the DNC, RNC is going to tend to favor Bill of Rights constructs because that's their power base and it limits the Democrat power base. And the DNC is going to favor priest-kingism because it benefits their power base. They're the power base of the ones that control the culture. Generally speaking, the ones that control the culture are the ones that are in favor of controlling the culture. If you know what I mean, censorship, all that stuff, all the anti-Bill of Rights constructs that the DNC now freely and openly embraces. I mean, you can say court packing technically is not a violation of the Bill of Rights, but it is the violation of, it's not by the letter of law, by the spirit, though. It's certainly a violation of due process because you're going to create a construct now where every party's just going to keep adding enough judges to get the political rulings that they want. So you have no rule of law. You've totally broken down any facade of any type of objectivity. Not that you can have objectivity, but it is significant. It's important. You're starting assumptions, whether you can live up to them or not, are very important. It's like a constraint or a non-constraint. If you start off with an assumption you can kill everyone, you're going to kill everyone. If you start off with an assumption that says I must be good and noble and not kill everyone, you're going to try to figure out how to kill everyone without getting caught, and that's going to slow you down. You're not going to kill nearly as many people because you're limited by your starting assumption and by the starting assumption of the audience that you're serving. So that's why. Well, that's not why anything. I'm just ranting. So Amy Coney Barrett is now she's it. She's confirmed, and I think that really helps the RNC's chances to win this election because I think you just lost about 5 to 10% of the people that would have showed up to vote for you. At least 5%. I'll say 5%. 5% will be significant, and that's 5%. That'll work out to about 2.5 to 3%. So you lost 3%. With this confirmation, the Democrats lost 3% of the total vote. That's my prediction. 3% of the total vote will not show up for them now that they would have had. And there you go. That's how I'll end this.